Fortune. I'm going to be beginning this session with a question that was left over from my last time I came on live last Sunday. Actually, it was Monday morning. I think I went on at midnight, 12:30 Monday morning, and I got off almost at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a long day. It wasn't long. It went by pretty fast, but yeah, I was going to come on later that day, but it didn't happen. I've been rather tired. Been rather tired of late. But this goes to Nancy. I flagged Nancy this and I flagged Nancy in the description. And so the question that Nancy asks is this: my ex-employer Brian's wife is jealous and causes arguments because of his attraction towards my daughter. So I'm gonna reframe this into a question, which I did, and the question being: is my ex-employer's wife jealous because her husband is attracted to my daughter? So we're gonna just do it in this form. I don't I to my recollection, that's how I'm reframing the question. Okay, and so we're going to use this arcanum. It is a hybrid tarot oracle deck. It doesn't have the numbers on it. It is just some oracle words that are sort of combined with the traditional meanings of the tarot. And so we're going to begin here. And we have, look at that, 3 cards just popped right out. And we're going to just, oh, more than 3. That's interesting. All right, we'll just see what they have to say. So this might be a maybe kind of a thing. It's a maybe. 4 cards came out. So 2 upright and 2 downright. And so I was going to classify this, Nancy, as a maybe. Maybe what you sense is real. Maybe. But what is that rooted in? We have this vision, a vision that a person has, that this idea that you have is making some progress. Welcome, Jape. Welcome. If you have a question, just put it into the chat, all caps. And so we have some memories, but this in a sense, or just moving on. You may be, in this sense, Nancy, you may be clinging to some past bad memories of your ex-employer. Past bad memories. But you may be making some progress to go beyond this point, to go beyond. And to move beyond. You are navigating towards calmer water, so there's chaos that's there. All right. Yes, I did. I need to set my yes. I guess I'm going to have to change change my rules here, but thank you, Sculpted Slug. I will get to your question there. I'll get your question just as soon as I finish this one, and you are following the rules. Thank you. Nightbot is an automated service. It's an automated service that I signed up for. Okay, to display the rules, and so I'm going on here with Nancy's question here. What I'm sensing here, Nancy, is I'm going to say that there is. I'm going to rearrange your cards a little bit here, and we have this pertains to your. I don't, your things that you got going on here with your ex-employer. You need to move on from that and make progress in moving on. And I see that in the sense of you moving on from this chaos that you have here, because we have this, there was this power imbalance that occurs, a power imbalance that was between your ex-employer and your family. And so you probably left this relationship because there was way too much chaos going on there, and you left. But they're still having some issues. And so I have worked for an over-intrusive employer once before. And that employer had multiple employees had filed restraining orders against them. And if this problem persists, Nancy, and you have literal proof that your ex-employer is harassing your daughter, I don't know how old your daughter is. It sounds like maybe she's probably an adult. If that is occurring, then I think that you should file a restraining order against this person. I don't necessarily do legal questions, but to me, it sounds like you've asked this question to me 3 times. 3 times you've asked me this question. And then if this is something that persists, if this is a persistent problem in your life, regarding this situation, this is for entertainment purposes only. I better put that in there, for entertainment purposes only. That you need to put this past thing behind you. Move on from this past bad system, this past bad situation. You need to rebalance your life. Rebalance your life and depart from this chaos and move away from it. Okay? All right. So, does that help at all, Nancy? Does that help at all? Because I think what I was thinking and what I'm seeing here is that these are the cards that just popped out. Is that you got to move on from this situation. You've asked this question to me 3 times. The same question for the most part. You need to have some closure with this. You need to move away. Move away. Start moving away in your head, but it's kind of hard because this situation is just so active in your head. But to heal from this situation, it will require some moving on. Now, I'm going to read this for you, and it's also for me too. And the priestess spoke again and said, "Speak to us of reason and passion." And he answered, saying, "Your soul is oftentimes a battlefield upon which your reason and your judgment wage war against your passion and your appetite. Would that I could be a peacemaker in your soul, that I might turn the discord, the chaos, and the rivalry of your elements into oneness and melody. But how shall I, unless you yourselves be also the peacemaker? So what this is saying is that, Nancy, is that to gain peace in your life with this, you have to take the first step. You have to take this first step. And sometimes, if it is really a harassing situation and you can prove that, you may need to have the law on your side. That may be the case. That may be, a case. A strongly worded letter from a law person could help to stop those things, stop the chaos. But now we're going to move on here to my next question, which is all right. Are you still here, Sculpted Slug? I like your channel name. That's kind of funny. At Sculpted Slug. I think today's the 29th, right? 5/29/2026. I wonder what that energy is. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It's an 8. So today's energy is that of an 8. Of an 8. All right, and I'm going to get you your question, which you followed my rules. So what is your path with the divine? What exactly do you mean by that? With the divine. Now, if I were to interpret it through my eyes, my path with the divine is I grew up in a Judeo-Christian family. A messenger or light worker. Okay. Well, what do you feel that you are? What do you feel? What do you feel in your heart? A messenger or light worker. What is it that I guess when I think of path, I think of okay, the path I am on is one of a Gnostic. I consider myself more like a Christian mystic, a Christian Gnostic, which is also meaning I'm a Christian heretic. In all intents and purposes, I am a Christian heretic. That's what I am. So a light worker or just either both or just a light worker. So you're reading more about Gnosticism. So when I think of path, what I think about is your religious tradition. What religious tradition did you grow up in? May I ask? Did you have one, or did you grow up without a religious tradition, or did you grow up in one? Oh, you're a Lutheran. Me too. I was born into the Lutheran Church. Lutheran. I still kind of attend a Lutheran church, though I was confirmed as a Catholic. You were brought up as a Lutheran, but then you became, yeah. I get you. I love was it ELCA or was it the Missouri Synod? I know that one of my grandfathers one of my grandfathers, who was a German Jew, escaped. Their family escaped the wrath of the church through Christianity. But I understand. I very much understand Lutheran, what this is all about. So you're in the Missouri Synod, yeah. So what it means is that you escaped this because its conservatism was too tight for you, and that if you were to the ELCA, which it it ordains women, and it's way more LGTB. It's LGT. What is it? L LGBTQI friendly. It's more friendly in that manner. Friendly to folks of diversity. I follow that guy. One of those Lutherans on. I can't remember that guy's name, but anyways, yes, that it is the ELCA is more is open to diversity. Of course, I wouldn't tell my pastor that I've never told my pastor that I was a tarot reader. Um, I certainly wouldn't do that, and I hope that they never find out. Though I doubt if my But anyway, let's go on to your question. What is your path? So a messenger or light reader. Okay. You know what? We're gonna use an oracle here. So you still want to learn how to read cards? Yeah, just go for it. I would. I would. If you don't have a deck of cards, uh, uh, let us go. Let us do something. I want to do something here, and I want to see what happens. We're gonna let. I'm gonna use my Saint Joseph's missal. We're gonna use this missal to see if we want to just see if within its pages, if it'll give us some clues. And we're gonna uh oh, I understand. I totally understand. I I started reading cards. This is how it happened. It was only like 3 years ago is when, roughly 3 years ago, and I had COVID. My mother, who I take care of, she uh, was in intensive care with COVID, and I was talking with one of my aunts, my and and then she had told me that her grandmother was a fortune teller, and because I knew I had briefly that grandmother had passed away in like 1980 when I was like just a preteen, born in 1890, and used to read tea leaves and cups, and I think playing cards too. But I had throughout my life had dabbled with divination, but that whole the whole Christian thing, you're kind of scared to read and so forth, scared to learn because of how Christian faith is. But let's go. I'm gonna go randomly select. Yeah. So this is my missal. It was given to me when I was confirmed as a Catholic in 1997, and I use it like an oracle deck. And so let's go look into this. It is hard. Christian faith is very hard. It's hard, and it's hard because, I mean, without risk of leading you astray, which I don't think I would. But what I would, when you, I mean, if you feel like you want to be part of a church community, go ahead and do that. I mean, like I say, I'm a part of a church community, and I'm a part of a Lutheran church community. Even though but nevertheless, I don't tell people that I'm a reader. But let's go spin out a page number for you, and let's see what this missile has to say. My 0 point is here, and okay, we're going to do this. Yeah. All right, let's go see what the first 2 digits is. If okay, they are 12. And so we're going to just see what happens here. Page 12. One of the things that you... Yeah, I keep that stuff private, man. You're damn right I do. I mean, I live in a rural area, though it's way more open. When I was like younger, I remember a pastor told me, "Oh yeah, you sound like a Gnostic." So that was like kind of 30 years ago. And 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Wouldn't that be ironic if it was 1, 2, 3, 4? But it's 1, 2, 3, 8. $12, 38. That is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're looking at 5. That's about a transition number, about being in transition. Three plus 8, 12. 3, 3. Wait. 11, 12. So I'm going to... Hi, Care Bear. Welcome. You know, Sculpted Slug, Care Bear here, she's former, she also has had a journey too with being, coming out of the Christian tradition too, and how hard that is being a card reader when you have coming out of the Christian tradition. I'm gonna... From this, I'm getting a so we have in here a card that's based about... This number is 12. This number here is 12. And so we take a hanged man, getting a different perspective. And then 3 plus 8 together is 11, but maybe we think of in terms of... This card. And we're just looking at these things here. I do things a little bit differently, Sculpted Slug. I often do things differently here. And this one. They're all non-nudie cards, so we're just kind of... We're taking this number here, 1238. But you know, it kind of... I'm thinking of like a lot of hard major energies, because you want to know about your life path, and you want to know about what you think your mission in life is. And yes, that's the Empress card. And so when I'm looking at this, this is just this number 1238, which I spun out on that on that top. And so we're going to go look at the page in a minute, but these are kind of the what we're looking at: 12, 3, and 8. And where Spirit asking you to change your perspective on things, to work on, you can have illumination through a change of perspective, and sometimes that's about being immobile. Now, so you're in this place immobile, so maybe it requires a little bit of surrendering to your circumstances, to what is going on in your life, and to figure out where does God want you? Where are you wanted? So sometimes that takes a little while to figure that out. Take some time. Now, this guy is on a tree. I've been trying a practice. It's not every day, but in our practice, spiritual practice, it does require having strength and taming your passions. And so you remember, to whatever he wants. Yeah, he, she. And I had read that page, 55. 5 and 5. 10. New path. Today's energy is of 8, but that number is 5. Strength. Taming your passions. Now, this is hard. I still struggle with taming my passions, the passions of my body. Being able to tame that. But to be like this woman here, to be like this person, this lion representing the drives of your body, the drives of your ego, and to tame that. Tame those passions. Tame the passions of your heart. But also in this sense of being like the Empress. And the Empress is that of fertility, that of nature, and being in touch with nature. And so while you're hanging out tied to this tree, tied to the natural world, in a place that you can't really move, and if that's a meditative state, you really have to tame your passions in order to stay in a meditative state. Stay quiet. Connect up with the natural world, with the goddess energy of the world, with the Gaia energy of the world, with that divine feminine, or if we look at in a Gnostic sense, the so that drained you out today. So in a Gnostic sense, now this is from Elaine Pagels. He talked about the baptism of Jesus. Where the spiritual adoption took place with a divine father and a divine mother. So that we all have 4 parents. We have our biological parents and we have our spiritual parents. And our spiritual parents, when we are initiated into a spiritual life or whatever that means, but probably at birth, when we are initiated into this life, we also have spiritual parents too. We have a father and a mother. And in this sense, I'm looking at this Empress card as your spiritual mother and thinking about your spiritual mother. being in contact with your spiritual mother, with your source of your, with the source of your fertility, of what makes you potent. What is it that makes you happy? What makes you happy? Welcome, Ren. I'll be right with you, Ren. So when you think about what is your path, are you a light worker? Are you a messenger? Are you a watcher? Are you a historian? Are you a healer? What makes you happy? What makes you feel connected? What makes you feel potent? What makes you feel potent? So your spiritual parents, spend some time in contemplation, tied down to a tree, not literally, but spending time with the trees, forest bathing, in nature. Okay, we're going to put these down here, and we're going to go look at your page number 1238 and see what it has to say. I don't know if anything I'm saying has, Shaz, welcome. I don't know if anything I've said seems remotely helpful to you. 1238. 1238. So I want you to look at this too. Hopefully you can see it. Whatever, you can read along with me. Read along with me. And any words that pop out to you as far as your direction you want to go in your life, pop out. Just write those words down as we go along. This is mostly just a prayer here. So we have a reading from Genesis 18:20 through 32. Let me just read that. The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great and their sin so grave that I must go down and see whether or not their actions fully correspond to the cry against them that comes to me. I mean to find out. While the two men walked out. Do you understand what this story of Sodom and Gomorrah? That probably doesn't apply, but there was an interpretation with one of the prophets that talked about the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was not that of sexual impropriety, but rather it was a sin of Sodom and Gomorrah failing to take care of those who could not take care of themselves. And so the two men walked on further towards Sodom, and the Lord remained standing before Abraham. Then Abraham drew nearer to him and said, "Will you sweep away the innocent with the guilty? Suppose there are 50 innocent people." So we're talking about the story with the bartering with God, and we do this bartering with God. So that the innocent, okay, blah, 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 Aim spoke, and then I will not destroy it. So if I find four. So in a sense that this is the show of the mercy that God has. That even if there is just one person is enough to save them all. Then she looked back and they turned into a pillar of salt. Yes. But this story doesn't have that one there. This is sort of the Abraham having a argument with God the alien. Okay, let's go. Let's see what we have here in this prayer. God, our Father and Protector, without you, nothing is holy, nothing has value. Guide us to everlasting life by helping us to use wisely the blessings you have given to the world. And the alternate, okay, so your blessings, what has, in open your eyes to see your hand at work in your splendor of creation, in the beauty of human life. Touched by your hand, our holy world is holy. Help us to cherish the gifts that surround us, to share your blessings to our brothers and sisters, and to ask the joy of your life in your presence. We ask through Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay. Let's see, what else is there? So I don't know that there's really anything on this page. Something looking back, something sculpted. I don't really know that. I don't know. I didn't get anything. There was anything on that page. But before I let you go, we're gonna take a look at how. We're gonna take a look at the fifth card here and see what it has to say. Because this all boiled down to number 5. You know, no, let's just do that. We're sticking with that. 4. Did I just blow past 5? Did I lose 5? There it is. I blew past it a couple times. Hey. The pillar of salt. So this is your letter. It's a Hebrew letter. And let's just read what it says. Hey, 5. And we're looking at the tree of life. It's up here. So this is between your crown and your wisdom. So this letter here connects your crown to your wisdom. And so a light worker or a watcher or a messenger, what do you think, what, and your crown, your head energy, your wisdom, to foster the wisdom of your life. Let's just take a look at number 5 here. Something in your crown has been blocked. Okay. The letter He connects between the spears of Keter and Chokmah, the crown and wisdom, and associated with the fire element. He will help you become renowned, charismatic, and demonstrate a strong presence by emphasizing the feminine aspects of your personality. So we look at this sense of the feminine aspect, your interior empress, your goddess energy, the feminine aspects of your personality, applying the wisdom, intelligence, gentleness, lightness, and grace to inspire love and harmony. Light. So this says that to work on inspiring light, love, and harmony. He will strengthen you in the areas of fertility and reproduction, stimulate, regenerate creativity, prosperity, and effortless success, and will help you to become a vessel for receiving and transferring abundance, for receiving and transferring light. This letter is useful for improving speech, communication, to pull out from difficult situations gracefully and repair injustices. Good times for new beginnings and fulfillment of aspirations for the month of Aries. For the month of Aries. Yes, so sculpted slug. If I were to just go by this, in your question, messenger or light reader, I would say I would lean towards light reader. I would lean towards light reader just based upon this letter hey. And so maybe you can spend some time meditating on this letter. Go look it up. The fifth letter of the Hebrew alphabet, as far as the Kabbalistic mysticism, Jewish mysticism is concerned. Okay? I hope that helped. I hope that helped. I know that there's always those people that want to keep you disconnected. I mean, I feel a little disconnected this week too. My card draw for this week, based upon numbers drawn, based upon spinning numbers out on that top, are these. These were my cards. The Magician, this 4 of chalices, this 5 of feathers, so 5 of swords, 4 of cups, and the Tower. This should be our subject of a live, yeah. It should be. We can do that. I'm having a tooth pulled out on Monday, and so I'm sure that I'm going to be not feeling like doing any readings at all, probably for almost like at least a week. So, so yeah. So this is kind of how I feel. I feel a little disconnected, and so I'm going completely on faith here right now. In this moment, yeah, I'm going completely proceeding on faith, because if I were just to go by how I felt, I probably wouldn't do any readings at all this week. I probably wouldn't do, but I wanted to come on because I had a couple people who I didn't get to last Sunday, Monday when I did readings, and this was one of the persons, and the other two I did a video on oh yeah. I'm not looking forward to this. So I've lost. Now I'll have no molars on this side of my mouth, which sucks. But so how did this thing roll out? It was 1, 6, 4, and then all added up to 5, right? Is that how it is? 16, 20, 21, no. I think it was 1, 6, 6, 5, 6, 22. Yes, that's right. I take those numbers. I do a roll on. Yeah, you don't have molars on either side. Yeah, yeah, and my insurance doesn't cover root canals and crowns. And I don't have enough teeth lost in order to get a partial, but I think I'm gonna have to figure out the money to get a partial. It does only to a point, yeah. So for me, this is kind of my. This is just this is my my number draw for this week. Yeah. Well, do we have any other questions? I don't know if we have any other questions here. Seeing that we don't have any other questions, Care Bear, why don't you give me a give give me a page number between choose a number between 4 and 104. Oh, there was two above. There were two other ones above. So we had oh yeah, that's right, Shaw's. I forgot. Are you still here, Shaw? And was there a Ren? Ren? Oh, we did. I will write them down. I hope that both Ren and Shaw are still here because I was running really slow. YQ7 UB. And the okay. What are Grace's feelings toward me? That's that one. And we're looking at, it's at 8 energy, right? We're looking at today is a 8 energy for 529. And then we have Shaw. T7Z3R. It's an 8 energy on 52926. Okay. And where was Shaw's energy? I saw that question. Oh. Okay. So his question is, will my financial situation change? Will my life situation change soon. And you're going through another spiritual awakening. Yeah, I know what that's like. You may. I'll put you on the list right now. You know, the thing about these financial situations is that okay. Okay, just do the all caps only once. I guess I'm gonna have to change my rules because Nightbot doesn't like all caps, so I'm gonna change my. So what is God's plan for me on earth? What? Well, I think Rizzo would. You probably need to try to understand what those figures mean to you. Those dream figures, because see, dream figures, they may not mean what what you think they are. I mean, of course, what did I what is? Oh, I having a dream of Mother Mary and Jesus. I don't know that I've ever dreamed of Mother Mary or Jesus. Is the what is God's plan message for me? Okay, Riza, I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to get to you shortly here. Riza, I want to I'm going to use this oracle on you here. So I want to select a number between 4 and 104. Select a number between 4 and 104, please. Select a number between 4 and 104 for Riza. And we're going to go on with 74. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do Ren's question. Now, unfortunately, and before I start here, when it comes to these financial situations, all of us are stressed because of the war. That war, the war, especially the war where they've closed the Straits of Hormuz, that is affecting everybody's bottom line. In some places, it's worse than others, but they're predicting. The predictions is this. Now, I'm going to just say this, and then I'm going to do this. Is that if the Strait of Hormuz opens up tomorrow, prices will start to come down in 2030. It's 6 years. It'll take 6 years before the prices of everything starts to come down. So that's what But let's go to red, and we're going to do this one really fast. And I'm going to start by clearing the air here. And an 8, and we're on an 8 energy day. For Ren, what are Grace's feelings towards me? What are Grace's feelings towards me? It's a 3 card. So Ren, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling, Ren. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Right there, okay? So, Grace, there are some feelings that she has towards you. There is this sense that her cup is filling up. The cup of love is filling up. But it's not filling up as fast as maybe you want it to, Ren. And there's a sense of boredom here. There's a sense of boredom in this relationship. And so are her feelings towards you? It's a sense of, yes, we have a little bit of this cup of emotions, this cup of creativity, this cup of spirit that is filling up and rising within her. But it's not moving very fast. And the other but here is that she's getting bored with things and bored with how things are going. But then things are still moving on. They're moving on. And so you're looking at the numbers we are looking here are 12, 10, 20, 10, 22, 23, 25, 7, 8, and 7. So what we're looking at energetically, Ren, as far as Grace's emotions towards you, is that we're kind of in a sense of manifesting a desire to withdraw, sort of a manifesting this desire to withdraw. The energy that Grace is manifesting is not one, it's one of almost like depression, but not depression, sort of a desire to pull back, a desire to pull back. A desire to pull back from the situation. So things are, there's distractions, there's not really moving very fast, not feeling inspired. And then at the same time, there is a sense, there's some love here, but it's just moving forward. Everything is just progressing along. And so, does that help? So we're going forward into a direction, but this is not happening fast enough. So it seems kind of distracted, sort of a distracted love, a sense of distraction. Does that help at all, Ren? I'm hoping that you are continuing to reach out to Grace, that you are continuing to work on your relationship with her, that you are continuing to do this, but not to be overly pushy, because maybe as she pulls back, it may be as a reaction towards. So there might be some of this. This is the bottom card, and she's making some choices. She's trying to keep her emotions in check. Keep neutral here. Yes, there's some feelings there, but she has to choose first, and she hasn't made up her mind. She hasn't made up her mind. So what we're going to say is that Grace is having difficulties making up her mind. She is distracted by something, and is withdrawing from the world. She's withdrawing from the world. Yeah. So it probably has nothing to do with you, Ren. I'm going to say keep moving forward, but have patience. Have compassion. Do not be overly pushy in this situation. It was a cheater and a manipulator, I see. So you need to be very patient with her and have compassion. Just be her friend. Be your friend in this situation. Let's go on to Shaw's here. Let's go on to Shaw's. Is Shaw still here? If not, we're going to just move past this pretty fast. For entertainment purposes only. As far as the finances are concerned, everybody's finances are stressed, but that doesn't mean that in a bad economy that fortunes cannot still be made. The opportunity for fortunes to be made are always present. Always present. Even in the most terrible situation. And these wars that we're in are not doing anybody any good. They're not doing anyone any good. So let's do Shaw, and then let's come on to Riza. Okay, Shaw. All right. All right, I'm going to put you into the spot here, Annabella. core. And am I missing someone here? B-Lux. Who's B-Lux? I don't see a B-Lux here. Oh, there it is. So I was right in my reading? Oh, good, because, I was feeling, because B-Lux, after that other night, that night when I was dealing with that one third-party reading, I was really, because I wasn't connecting to it. It was hard because I was feeling rather disconnected, B-Lux, but thank you very much. I was going to go back into that one. I don't always go back to my lives and go back and rewatch them, but sometimes I do. Yeah, I do appreciate the feedback because it's very difficult to know. It's very difficult to know here because that was an oddball night too. And so, yeah. All right, Shaz, yours here. Will your financial situation change? At the very minimum, Shah, you're looking at 2032. And it's not just you, it's all of us. It's everybody in the whole damn system. Now, the things that can be changed is now, I was like thinking about the amazing things that people are inventing right now when it comes to like energy and so forth. Like sucking carbon dioxide out of the air, combining it with hydrogen, making methanol, and from methanol, distilling it into either jet fuel to make diesel, to make jet fuel, and to make gasoline. That we are able to, it's very expensive right now, but this is like this technology to be able to make gasoline out of the air, between air and water, and not have to suck the damn gasoline. Oh, hi, Vanderbilt. I'm going to make you the last one, Vanderbilt, because then I'm going to have to start making dinner here. Okay, Vanderbilt's the last one. Everyone that's coming after this, I'm going to have to have you, I'm going to do your questions the next time. So Vanderbilt is one. Reconcile with me. And so I'm going to put this down. This is the last question. Okay, let's go here. And then we'll get to, I might pop on later If I pop on later, I'm going to go on my other channel. But let's clear the air here. Mother Mary Shah wants to know if their financial situation will change, and will the overall life situation change soon, for Shah has suffered an injury and wants to know, when will my abundance come, my financial abundance come? The first thing that came to my mind, Shah, here is that because of circumstances beyond our control, that we all need to rewire our relationship to money and about what we think we need or not need. My budget is so tight that there is, after the bills and everything are paid, there's generally like only $100 for gasoline, for food. But actually, the food that I get in my family comes from charity, completely from charity. Rewriting, you have to rewrite your relationship to money. It's not just you. This message is for all of us, because of this world that we're in is one of scarcity. And so how do you figure out how to have abundance in a situation of scarcity? That's the rules that were set up. Those are the rules that you didn't decide, those rules, but maybe we did. We come into this situation. These are the rules of society that they set up, that there's a limited amount of money. There's a limited amount of resources. And you have to scrap and scrape and fight for your crumbs, and that's the system. But we don't have to agree to that system. We can change our point of view and see a different point of view. And it comes down to that whole strength card, the 8 of taming your passions of your body and what it is that you think that you need. I know this is not your question, and I'm responding to your question with a general answer, but your financial situation is bad, but so is everybody else's financial situation bad. And all that, and it got bad because of this GD war, this war between the United States and Iran. That war is making everybody's financial situation in the whole world bad. The whole world's financial, for everybody, for the majority of the people, with the exception of those people who profit off of war, their situation is great, but everyone else's situation is bad. And so these are things that are not in your control. So we're going to just look at, what does the card say about what is in your control? What is in your control? What is in your control is to rewrite your relationship to money and how you think about it. There are things that we can do. Now I'm going to get on a soapbox here. I'm soapboxing this one. The things that we can do, there are a lot of hard things that we can do. You come from with your name, I'm thinking you probably are coming in from a culture of multi-generational households. And you know how hard those are, but you also know that living in community with others is a way to rewrite your financial situation. Okay, but let's just look at the cards here. How can you use this time? All right, I'm going to go here. I'm going to do a, I don't know if Shaz is still here. Yes, yes. And so that's the point of view, and living in community. And living in community, and human beings have always, we thrive the best when we live in community. We've lived in community forever. And so we're not wolves. We're not predators by nature. We do predatory behaviors. Humans do predatory behaviors. They prey upon other humans. They prey upon other things. But human beings cannot live in isolation from one another. And that, I believe, is a fact. And I think that's a fact of nature. And you look at, even the birds in the sky live together to somewhat. You can see that they are in a community, at least for a short time. The birds, they made up. They split the tasks. Ducks, one of them sits on the nest of eggs while the other one hunts. The other one sits on the eggs while the other one hunts. And then you really see how animals in the animal kingdom, how animals that live in community, how much better they thrive. And human beings is exactly the same. We are not islands. We are not in isolation. And when we are in isolation, it's not a good sign. You're not like, I don't know. I don't think it's very good to be in isolation, but nevertheless, sometimes it's either the family that we have or it's the family we make. There's two different types of family. There's family we choose, and then there's a family we are born with. But let's just do here. Let's do this. Shah, we're going to do a 3-card. We're going to ask the question, will your financial situation improve? And I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. When do I stop shuffling, Sean? Tell me when to stop shuffling. When do I stop shuffling? One of them just came out here already. Okay, all right. Well, will it? It will change. Will your financial situation change? Yes, it will. However, well, this is how it changes. What I see how it changes is, one, you have to make a fresh start. 2, you have to examine the way you are limiting yourself. And the 8 of Swords in this sense, this is about your self-limitations, and this is how you are behaving in the world. You are limiting yourself. See, these bonds are loose. You could escape these bonds at any time. I mean, you can go walk back to your castle. You can walk back to abundance on the hill over there. This represents your limitations, and how are you limiting your life? To examine your life to see how you are limiting it. Will your financial situation change? Yes, it will. When? I don't know. I don't really deal in future things because my own self limitations is I just think that we're not meant to know the future. I mean, a certain amount of future things we can predict based upon the energies of today, the situation of today. I mean, you run things into models. They run the climate models and they run them through supercomputers and they can make predictions, but they're not. They're just that. They're not anything set in stone. Everything is in motion. It's moving. The future always moving. Now I sound like Yoda. So this is the first thing is you have to think about, and so I guess I talked about this a little bit, didn't I? About rewriting your relationship to money. What is your relationship to money? You have your general life situation. I think these are all things that are related. And you have anxiety. Anxiety can block the flow, yes. And so I think that will your life situation, your life situation will change when you examine your life. And how are you living it? So you need to spend some time with a pen and a paper. Everybody out there, when you're troubled, whatever, I've done this a lot in my life. Pen and paper in a quiet place. Sit down, write down the sentence. How am I limiting myself? What am I doing that keeps me where I'm at? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? What am I doing? And then just start writing if you can. And then keep on asking that question. Ask that question. And then you think about your answers. You think about what is it that you feel? What are you feeling? You think about those emotions because those emotions are in a sense, they are a mirror. They mirror what is really going on down in your subconscious. You also should pay attention to your dreams. Get into the habit of writing your dreams down as soon as if you have the time, if you can make the time to do that, to write your dreams down, and to take that time. Make sure you take time every day or as often as you can to connect up with nature, with the natural world, with the trees, with if the air, with the air, with everything that's like with that if you can put your feet down into the ground, your bare feet, or at least with the socks, touch the ground. I can understand if it's like a monsoon or a rainstorm, not doing that, but the days that you can. But that's just that aside. Figure this out for yourself. Figure this out. Are you blaming yourself? What are you doing as far as like, what are you doing? What are you doing, as far as why are you bound up? Why, try to find that out. Now, also, this just says you have a bunch of decisions you have to make. You have difficult choices. And it's choosing the right path and making the right just so it's like do I buy this bean or do I buy that bean? And do I buy bread or do I like you go for what's in taking your choices. Let's say you can go to a food pantry if there are such a thing as like food pantries or food charity. If you can free up $10 out of your budget because you got a bag of rice, you got a bag of beans from a charity, that's $10 more you have in your pocket that you can do something else with it, like make some investments. And then here, Sean, you are in a sense of you can make a fresh start. You can start over again. You clear out your limitations. You work on making better choices. And making better choices, you end up having a fresh start and starting again fresh and new. It's that whole sense of like forgiveness and that whole concept of forgiveness. And one of those, that's the thing of with the whole Christian concept or of forgiveness and being able to forgive yourself so that you can start fresh and new, or that, and things like that. I don't know if that makes any sense. So we're looking at the overall sense of this. These numbers added up together is 10, but 10 reduces down to 1. And so you are on the cusp of having a new path and beginning a new cycle, Shaw. You are beginning on the cusp of that. But that also involves you have to do a bunch of work. To start again, to start fresh, to start your path over again, you're going to have a lot of work to do. And that work is to identify how are you limiting yourself, and also identify how you can make better decisions. Okay? Does that help? I hope that helps. And let's go on to Riza. I feel like my chat stopped. Did my chat stop? Anxiety, yeah, like, okay. You're welcome. Thank you very much. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to Riza because I need to. I got like a half hour before I get in trouble because it's time to make dinner. All right, Shaw, thank you very much. Let's go move on to Riza. Are you still here, Riza? We are on a. The energy of today is 8. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get in my new harmonicas coming next week. It is a frequency 432. I got a specially tuned harmonica that is tuned in time to that healing frequency of 432. You're welcome. You're welcome, Shaw. Mother Mary, Riza wants to know of what is God's plan for her on earth and what message there is for her. It's the second time this question was asked today. In one sense, Riza, God's plan for you is to be free and to be happy. God's plan for you is to be free and to be happy. most all the world's religions also say, at least mine, say that God's plan for you is to love one another. So, how to love one another? How to do this in a sense of what is your mission? What is your mission here? What makes you happy? So, in this is identifying, Annabella, you're down here. You didn't miss. Free and happy. So, God's plan. Now, this is God's plan. I'm going to get you next after this one, Anna. Free and happy. You were born free, and you need to seek after happiness. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? What makes you happy? And then if I look at what my religion, I mean, what does it basically, what does the Jesus mythology say is to the Jesus mythology, mythology, that Jesus mythology says that is to love, the Creator, neighbor, and self. Creator, neighbor, and self. If you're an atheist, you can just skip this part and just love neighbor and self. Some of us are, you don't have and we're not talking about a particular mythological path that you got to walk down. You don't have to do that, because we all come, maybe none of the paths make sense to you, so that's fine. You don't have to follow any particular path. How do you do this, though? A bit of that golden rule stuff, do unto others as others have to do unto yourself. But you have to, in this, you can't forget about yourself. It is so easy in this life to ignore yourself, to hate yourself, to hate the body, hate who you are. And it's easy to love your neighbor. It's very easy to love something you can't see. Intellectually, loving God is easy because you can't really see God, and God's, not there. But if we look at the Jesus mythology, it says that you love God through loving neighbor and self. That's how it translates. Whatever you do or you do not do to your neighbor, whatever you do or do not do to yourself, you do to God. That's how the reflexive relationship works. But we're going to go on to your page number that you chose was page number 74, and we want to see what does page 74 say as far as your mission on earth. And what is the message for you? Then the priestess said, "Speak to us a prayer." And he answered, saying, "You pray in your distress and in your need. Would that you might pray also in the fullness of your joy and in your days of abundance. For what is prayer but your expansion of yourself into the living ether? And it is for your comfort to pour your darkness into space. And it is also for your delight to pour forth the dawning of your heart. And if you cannot weep when your soul summons you to prayer, she shall spur you again and yet again through weeping until you shall come laughing. When you pray, you rise to meet in the air those who are praying at this very hour, whom... So what I see here is that you, Riza, might be happiest if you spend your time in prayer or meditation, prayer for the world, prayer for others. And look up, so a light worker. That's what Karen said. Light worker. A light worker. That you may be best served to spend your time spreading light into this world through just praying for those who need prayers. Does that make sense, Riza? So the divine message for you is to spend time comforting others, spend time comforting others. Also, in this sense, the priestess, the goddess, spend time getting to know your divine feminine, connecting up to that divine feminine force that exists within you, to not ignore the divine feminine, not to ignore the Earth Mother. But think of like monastics. What do monastics do? Monastics are, that's what they are. They are prayer people. They go, they spend their time in prayer for the world, for others. 7 plus 4 is 9. So you're looking, no, 7 plus 4 is not 9. That's 13, right? No, 11. So that's of the number 11, right? Justice. Thinking in terms of justice. 11, and then also justice, and also the divine feminine. The divine feminine. Light, intuition. Light, intuition. Justice. Praying for justice in this world. So, Riza, does that help? Be happy. Follow your bliss. Be free. Spend your time in prayer. So let's go move on to Anna, and then we'll go Vanderbilt. All right. You're welcome, Riza. So that would be it. My advice is to look at the monastics and that of being of a prayer warrior or whatever makes sense within your how you think about things. What is your religious path, if you have one? If you don't have one, that's fine. You don't have to have a religious path. You can be a mystic and go off on your own. Be a hermit. All right. Anna's next. Mother Mary, Anna has a question. Anna wants to know, will Tor take the initiative to reunite with her? Will Tor take the initiative to unite with her? Because Tor and Anna have been separate, right? $11 breaks down to the high priest, intuitive, yes. Justice and the high priestess. What about you, Anna? Did you want to reunite with Tor? Have you taken any actions? What actions have you taken without being obsessive about it? So you did. So you're just kind of sitting there waiting to see if Tor will respond back. Okay. All right. You already did. All right. Let us use this deck over here. That's actually a good question. It's always been your initiative. Welcome, Mr. K. Welcome. Oh yeah, I should do that. I haven't set that computer up yet, but I've been yeah. Well, so do you make jewelry, Anna? I was looking at your channel. Is that something that you do? So we're going to ask the question, will Tor reunite with Anna? So Anna, why don't you tell me when to stop shuffling? Tell me when to stop shuffling, Anna. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay. According to these cards, he may do that. But what it kind of looks like is he's on guard. He's working on learning something. He's taking time away to learn something, but then yet he's hoarding these things. He's hoarding the passions of his body. He's hoarding his feelings for himself. According to my system, yes, he may take the initiative. He may take actions to unite with you, Anna, but no cups energy, no love energy. It may not be a love situation going on here, Anna. It's one of defense. It's one of passions, of fire energy, of the need to defend oneself. It's the one of looking at the body, looking at like material things, and it's one of holding on to these things. Well, maybe you should look for maybe you should look for somebody new, Anna. Out there in the world than just Tor, right? So there are other men than Tor, right? There's other people out there. So you have a barrier here. You put yourself into a maze. It seems that maybe a perspective change is necessary somehow to get out of your maze. You initiate it out, and then but it seems though you've trapped yourself into this system, Anna. But you want to have this marriage. This is what you're looking for. You're looking for marriage. But I think to get to this place of marriage, you got to get out of this maze. This maze that you're in. You need to figure out is, do you really like Tor? I mean, you think you do. You have this sense of liking him. You think that he's the only one that you want to be married to. I think, Anna, let's see what the next card says. It says time. This will happen in time. You want marriage. You want to start a family. And this Tor guy is the one you love, but this tour guide has put you into a maze. And this is a maze of your own mind, the maze that you have made for yourself. I think that when you get out of this, you find a way to get out. You journal your way out. You find the way that you have limited yourself, all the ways that you have limited yourself, self-limiting actions, your in those things. And then that marriage is something that is on the horizon. You are the prize, not them. And so in time, I think that this marriage is possible in time. But this to me seems like it's a test that you have to endure, you have to go through. So the test is to get out of this. Spend some time in yourself. Spend time not thinking about this guy tour. For why you are separate. Why are you separate? Why are you not together? I mean, it's one thing if it's like, okay, you were conscripted into a military and you're gone off to war someplace. Well, yeah, you're separated because that's something beyond your control. There are things that separate us from those who we love that are completely beyond our control. But I don't think this is one of those situations. I don't think this is one. I think that in this situation, what I see here is that this is the central issue here, Anna, is that you're trapped in this maze. You need to get out of this maze. Maybe it's so much that what it is you climb up one of the stones and you sit on top of the stone. You can, like it was Stonehenge, or it's like you climb up the wall and you get a different look. You look around and think, oh, the world is different from this viewpoint. But when you're down here in it, you're just kind of trapped. You're kind of trapped in this place that you can't move. You can just go this. Oh, you get trapped in a little cul-de-sac. You get trapped to where you can't get out of your own head. You can't get out of your heart. Anyways, that's what I got for you. I don't know if that makes sense. Don't hoard your feelings. Share the things that you have. For you, spend time learning who you are. And don't become aware of why you are on the defensive on different things. Anyways, okay, that's what I got for you. You're welcome. All right, Anna, I wish you the best of luck with this. Go spend some time. Spend some time for yourself, getting to know yourself. Vanderbilt, are you still here, Vanderbilt? All right. Okay, you're my last one for today. Okay. Number 8. Mother Mary Vanderbilt wants to know if her man, her ex-man, Merlin, wants to reconcile with her. Thank you, Care Bear. Yeah. All right. All right, Vanderbilt. This is a 3 card. You can tell me when do I need to stop shuffling. Whenever you feel like I've shuffled enough. Okay, it's right there. Maybe. It's also like a maybe. It's not a definite yes, but it's not a no. Merlin, at this point in time, does not feel stable enough to reconnect with you. But so there's this kind of a dichotomy that's going on in him between his desire to be a nurturing person and to nurture you. He wants to do this. He wants to share himself with you. He wants to create a situation with you that is abundant and fertile, that is potent. He wants to share who he is, his knowledge. He wants to share that with you. But he does not feel like he's standing on solid ground. His whole world seems to be shaking apart. And he wants, before he will reconcile with you or to reconnect with you, he wants to feel safe. He wants to feel safe. He wants to feel like he can be a provider. That he can be a provider for you, for a family. But he doesn't feel that way. He doesn't feel like he can be that provider for you. And so that's why he stays away. He's a mama's boy. I see. He's a mama's boy. He's got this mother in energy. He wants to be a mothering person. He wants to share his knowledge with you. But this is the hang up. This is the hang up. And he's a workaholic. So he's never going to feel like he's standing on because he's a workaholic, he's never going to feel like he is on solid ground. He's always going to feel like he can't stand on his own 2 feet. And we have a 7 over here. Oh, man. So in a sense of absent. He's on shaky ground. And he's absent. He is in a state of... He has taken himself away from this situation. That's what I sense. And then he's also unstable. So what is Merlin? Merlin is unstable. And in his instability, he is absent. He is unstable. Merlin is unstable and absent. This is Merlin's state of affairs. Instability and absent. So will he reconnect you? Maybe. I think he wants to, but I don't think he can. Merlin needs to rewrite his reality in order to be with you. Be with you. Disco Babe, welcome. How about I write your question down, Disco Babe, and I'll get you the very next time I come on. So what's the outcome here is that it's always at this particular time it's just going to be unpredictable. It's not this isn't a predictable place. So Chinese Disco Babe, I'll get you the very next time. I'm going to come on again this weekend. Chinese Disco Babe. So, do you want a general reading? Okay. So, what's next? Current career. What's next in my next 3 months? Eventually, Chinese disco babe, you're gonna have to stay put. Stay put. But that was just the thought that came into my head. This is hard to stay put. But Chinese disco babe, I'm gonna get you the very next time I come on. I'm having a tooth out on Monday, and so I'm gonna come on either tomorrow or Sunday. Tomorrow or Sunday, or maybe both. But no, actually, I have a full work day planned tomorrow, so it'll be Sunday. I'll come on Sunday afternoon. You will be the first question I read that day. Okay? All right, Chinese disco baby. I am going to, but because, hold on, don't leave quite yet. Don't leave quite yet. I want you to, Chinese disco babe, to help select the Mary Mother card for all of us who are present here today. Welcome. So, you be the person who helps. Oh, look, the card just flew out. Did you just see that? You watched that. It just happened. This card flew out. This is, 2 cards flew out. All right, I guess it happened. Without you didn't even get a chance. The deck chose the cards for us. Chose this one here. I don't think I've seen this one before. So these are our cards. This is Mother Mary's message for us. We have the Tree of Life. And the Tree of Life gives forth something new, wrapped up in the cloak of time and space, surrounded by flowers and stars, flowers of the earth, stars of the heavens, and a new thing is formed. Our Lady who prevents interference. No fear shall prevent your forward movement. No obstruction shall overcome your destiny. Her love for you is more powerful than any sabotage or confusion. You can bear witness to darkness in your mind and the world around you, and then bring your attention back to your peaceful sanctuary within her heart. Stay true to your path while you trust in your sacred purpose and her protection. I think I like my interpretation. Welcome, Saved by Grace. I think I like my interpretation of this image better, but that was what came to me. We're protected by stars and flowers. And then what is this other one? So if you have a question, I'll get you the very next time, Saved by Grace. Thank you for your love. And then we have this image of being at rest under a veil of flowers, passion. The sun on our face. Our Lady of Becoming. You may be uncertain about your future. You do not have to become anxious about how to make things happen, nor do you need to know all the details of what shall be. You needn't be in control of the mystery to benefit from it. Surrender your concerns to Mother Mary's care and take a step, any step that feels right for you. Surrender is the message that Mary Magdalene had for me. Surrender, because this is my life this week. The magician is there to light the way, to show us the way through the sea. But yet, as soon as you start on that path, you come smack dab into a tower. And that tower disrupts everything, and everything gets pulled away from you, taken away from you, and then you end up alone and dejected and depressed, sitting under this sad palm tree in the middle of a desert, wishing that it was all over with. Wishing that it's all over. So you've been getting surrender as well. Surrender. And that was the message for me. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Because there is so many things in our life that is beyond our control. Surrender. What was my thumbnail image that I chose for this? What was the title? What was the title of this reading? Let me just go take a look at that. What is that? I chose something. Surrender. That's right. That's the thumbnail image, was surrender, because we can't control everything. Surrender. That's the message. Because we can't control everything. Can't control everything, yes. And so you just throw your hands up and say, hey, I just can't do it today. Can't do it today. Get kind of frustrated by our jobs and the stuff that we have to do. Yeah. Thank you, Saved by Grace. You come right before the end. I need to get this thing to set here. Oh, there it is. It's just kind of positioned. All right. All right. I gotta go. I gotta go make my dinner before I get in trouble at 6 o'clock. My little old dog is old. Getting close to 16 now. Old and frail. Do you have a question, Saved by Grace? Because I can get you when I come back on the next time. Chinese Disco Babe is gonna be when I come back on Sunday. I'm gonna. She has a question, and then if you have a question, Saved by Grace, I will get you on Sunday. I'm gonna try to come on early in the day, like okay. So essentially, what my Sundays look like is this. I do online church from mom. I make a breakfast / lunch Sunday thing after church. Generally, it takes like 2 hours. And then, and so I would say like probably, I do have chores to do. I gotta clean that closet out. I can't let that. I gotta do that. I have to have chores to do. And if you have a question, Saved by Grace, ask it now, and I will answer your question. will not do any late night readings this weekend at all. No readings till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday. I won't be doing any of that. But anyways, okay. I wanted to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Saved by Grace. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Chinese Disco Babe. Thank you, Mr. K. Thank you, Vanderbilt. Thank you, Care Bear. Thank you. Who else was here? I don't need to thank Nightbot because Nightbot's a machine. Thank you, Anna. Oh, Moon Honey. Moon Honey was here. Thank you, Moon Honey. Thank you, Moon Honey. With your 4,000 subs. I'm going to sub to you with my other channel. And there were some other people too. I'll thank Nightbot, even though Nightbot's a bot. Alright, thank you guys very much. Everybody I missed. There was the Sculpting Slug. Riza. Thank you, Riza. Thank you, Lux B. Thank you, Lux B. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me today. Thank you, and I gotta go. And we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.